Alright, so we want to take a look at the code for adding a student to the system and also the code for viewing a student on the system. I will start with adding students, and this is the form for adding students. It's your basic form. Basically, we just have a couple of labels and some text fields here. We give it a save button and a cancel button. When we fill out the forms, the save button will allow us to, of course, write the data to the file. So in terms of the functionality of the code, once you created your form, all you really have to do is to be able to save it, is to add an action to your, action perform listener to your save button. So if you're in design mode, after you've created your save button, you could just simply double click on the save button and it will take us into the code where we can add this particular code to allow us to save the student. So what we start off with inside of here is we have a try-catch structure, and within the try-catch structure we have a file writer. So our file writer is asking us where is the location of the file, and I've saved my file at c/test/student.txt, and because of the fact that I'm writing just one line of text to the end of this file, this parameter that I'm passing to my file writer needs to be set to true. So for my writer, once I have true here as the second parameter after my file location, then it will mean that I'm appending data to the end of the file. For next line, I have the buffered writer, which will allow me to write the data to my file, and then I have a print writer that I name out so that it seems similar to my system.out.println, right? That's why I'm using print writer. If I were using buffered writer, then I would use buffered writer bw.write. But I'm using, I took that buffered writer variable and I put it inside of a print writer. So now I can use println to write my data. So basically all I'm saying here is when I add data to when I have information inside of here and I click on my save button, this code will execute where I say where I want to save the data. I'm saying I'm saving it by appending to the file, and then I say out.println and I take the different text field information. The name of this text field is txt_num. The second one is txt_name. The third one is txt_amount, and the fourth one is txt_data. And I say basically out.println txt_num.getText, and that will allow me to get the information that is stored inside of this actual text area and write it to the file. I've concatenated all of the information from the 4 fields and I've separated them by commas so that when it's written to the file, it's written because separated by commas. Once I do this and I close off my catch loop, I say catch any possible input-output exceptions, and I've made sure to close my buffered writer, because if you don't close the buffered writer, sometimes you get strange errors. So that's basically an explanation of the code associated with my adding student to the file. To be able to view the students now, for view students, I have a form, and I just simply took I'm simply, it's a read from the file and write it to a text area. I did this because this is the foundation for what we'll be doing in the edit student, which is actually when we read the information from the file, we break it up into pieces and then we place it inside of text boxes. So this is a much more simplistic approach to what we'll be doing in the edit student menu, but we'll be learning both ways. So this is the groundwork for it. Once I've created my form with my text area on it, I can then go to my source code, and there's no action listening done for this actual file. What I've done is in the constructor for my view student, after my components are built, this init components activity here, after my components are built and the values are assigned to them for the file, I said basically my file name is c/test/student.txt. I have a line of text. I want to have my file reader now because I'm reading the data from the file. And again, inside of a try-catch loop, I just simply say, take that file location, which is specified in the file name, pass it to my buffer reader, and read a line of text at a time from the file. So that's what this while line is saying. While line is equal to buffer reader dot read line is an equal to null, which means while there is no more text to be read from the file, I simply want to append the data to my text area, which is named stulist. So if I go here and I see txt stulist. So back in the source code, what this does is that this reads all of the data that is inside of the file line by line and appends it to my text area. And I'm looking for any file not found exception. So if my file not found exception occurs, I'm going to say in my system window that I couldn't open the file. If I have any input-output exception in terms of reading the data inside of the file, then I will have an error message printing out saying error reading the file. So these are two very simple methods that we looked at basically for being able to add data to the file and also being able to read data from the file. In the next video, we will build on this by now taking the data that we read from the file, changing that data after we put it into the components of a form, and then we will write that data back to the file for the edit. As always, this code and the video will be available on the Moodle page.